He's Larry. How you guys doing? We have another show with Jamie Schmidt, the ServicePro Expo, and John Tornabene, the King of Park Garages. We got a great show tonight. We have a few more shows to go. We have a special guest tonight, AC Lockyer from Florida, which I'm in Florida right now, my winter home. AC, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Loving the cooler weather down here in Florida. Not cool for you guys, but it's not 95 degrees and 95% humidity, so we're happy.
Well, you know what? Everybody should come down to the ServicePro Expo, sponsored by PWMCA. It's February 22nd and 23rd. My class is on the 21st. You can't beat this weather.
No, it's beautiful down here this time of year.
Oh, my God, it's great. I mean, up in New York, where I'm from, it's cold. It's cold. It was like 35 degrees today. It's cold. Jamie's south from me, and he's down in southern New Jersey, but it's cold. And we love Florida. I recommend everybody to look up this ServicePro Expo event sponsored by the PWMCA. Once you go there, Jamie, the prices are, you can't beat these prices. Jamie's going to do this event. The hotel's like $115 on a room block. You can't beat it.
Room block is gone. Done. Over. Cannot get the room block. I tried negotiation and they were like, that's it. It's over. Fortunately, they have some pretty good deals in rooms right now, so you better get up there. The info's there and grab a room because But
it's a relief to sell the room block though. When you're organizing an event, it's nice to see the room block go.
Yeah, the room block is a scary one.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Yeah, well, I can tell you stories about that back in the day. That if you don't fill that room block, you're gonna pay.
Oh yeah, I've had to pay up to $10,000 before, because you don't know, are you going to fill the room block? Do you need to make it big enough? Yeah, it's a trip.
Well, that's Jamie's responsibility.
Yeah, I know, right?
You don't have to worry about that. Jamie says, "John, we'll do a show."
Get out the pen and write the check.
Yeah, write the check. Well, you know what? We're very happy that AC came on our show tonight. AC Lockyer is my biggest class sponsor. He's the number one class sponsor. I have 12 sponsors. And AC, we appreciate everything you do. Tell us a little about your soft wash systems and your disruptor. How did you get into manufacturing? Where did that come from?
Well, so, I had soft wash systems, and it was primarily a product line, and I sold it through distributors. And I had another company that was manufacturing my equipment for me that actually had been manufacturing my equipment for over 20 years when I was a contractor. And they were a large pest control manufacturing company that made pest control equipment, because I didn't really evolve out of the pressure washing world. I evolved out of the pest control world. So I've got a horticulture degree and worked in nurseries and stuff like that. And so that company one day decided to sell. And the company that was buying them out, I had already started having problems with them. The owner had fallen out of love with his business and the quality was going down. And we were starting to have issues, and I really didn't want to break in a new company. So we decided to start manufacturing our own equipment. And so I had to do a mad scramble to find a water jetter and a person that could bend up the aluminum and, redo my designs and all that kind of stuff. And I literally, like a lot of guys are doing today, and it's just so cool how many people are building skids today. I started building these out of my garage. And I had a 3-car garage. I wasn't using the whole thing. We were only maybe doing about, 2 to 3 skids a month. I was traveling all over the country, and I would come home, and my business manager at that point was Whitney White. She now runs Wise Coatings. And so she would get all of the parts and all the aluminum and everything for 3 skids ready. And I'd come home and I'd build in a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'd build and deliver 3 skids. And so eventually we just had an office condo then with no warehouse, because we were just a distributor, network type of product line back then. And so we decided to rent a warehouse and start doing more direct to consumer with our chemicals and stuff like that, started manufacturing the equipment. and started selling more and more skids. And we basically got up to about $1 million a year in skids. And my attorney and I, we review our, any of our liabilities or exposures or anything like that. We about twice a year we sit down and talk. And my attorney said, any business that you have or a segment of your business that's doing $1 million a year, especially since it's manufacturing, it's equipment, you're putting it back people's trucks, you really should separate it out and make it its own business. And I said, oh, okay. He said, for liability reasons, somebody got in a wreck and that skid flew out the back. You don't want to have that skid kill the goose that laid the golden egg, soft wash systems. You want that liability separated. So it was 2017. It was the 40th anniversary of Smokey and the Bandit. If you've ever looked at the Disruptor Manufacturing logo, it's the Smokey and the Bandit logo.
Love that movie.
Yeah. And so it's also within a year, we lost the Bandit. Burt Reynolds died. And so, Disruptor Manufacturing is kind of our homage to the Smokey and the Bandit, Burt Reynolds, and the logo and everything else. It was honestly just kind of a hobby business. We didn't have to make money. We didn't really have to do much with it. It only built the equipment for soft wash systems. And then one day I went, my heritage is, pest control equipment. I should start building pest control equipment. And then other people were calling me to build skids, and, things were going on, and the business started to grow just very organically. We haven't really pushed Disruptor Manufacturing, but something changed back in October. Does anybody know what may have changed back in October that may be culminating to a special event here in about 2 weeks?
What was it?
I can guess.
What?
I think that what happened was that you saw the benefit of manufacturing stuff. It's probably not right, but now you're able to offer lifetime warranties, which nobody does. I don't know what changed. What changed?
Well, AJ got engaged.
Oh,
and so we have the father-son talk and everything, and AJ comes to me and he's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm getting married to Deirdre, and I really want to start making more money." And he's starting to make a life. He's not a single guy anymore. They're wanting to have kids and give Karen and I grandkids and everything. And so I'm like, we were already starting to grow the company a little bit, but now it's like, oh crap, we got to really grow this company now, because AJ needs something that he can take and hang his hat on and get his own battle stories and war stories and have his own business and all. And before that, it was really just kind of fun for me. I love building stuff. I love engineering stuff. I love coming up with skids and different designs. And it wasn't really it was not a for-profit business. Just ask my wife. And so now we've had to kind of kick it in the butt and get it into another gear and really start pushing it. And part of that became essential too, because 1 year ago, next week, it was around Valentine's Day last year, we turned Soft Wash Systems into a licensed affiliate program. So we don't just sell to anybody at Soft Wash Systems anymore. We don't sell the Soft Wash Systems skid to anybody unless they're a licensed affiliate. We do sell the chemicals, because there are a bunch of people out there who do buy our chemicals that aren't in the network. But we by and large, Jamie's one of them, because they work. They're not a knockoff. It's not a repackaging program. We have real formulas, real recipes, real intellectual properties. People that blend them for us have to sign a confidentiality agreement and a intellectual properties agreement with us before we give them our recipes. And we make them all over the world in all the markets that we're in and everything else. So they're good products, but now we're really focusing with Soft Wash Systems on growing a $1 billion company and just being the biggest company in the exterior cleaning space. And we only have to 20x it to do it. So, we're not that far off. Just have to multiply. So that now I'm doing really Soft Wash Systems, and I'm helping AJ do Disruptor Manufacturing. But, as far as a legacy play, Disruptor Manufacturing one day will be his. And so, but it's a fun business. I mean, it's cool building this equipment, coming up with these designs and new hose reels and all that stuff. I'm just really passionate about it.
My dad, who just went out to dinner with my wife, he had a company. They built fume hoods. They built the toll booths. My father was a designer, and he owned the company, right?
Right.
He told me, and I'm not creative. My father loved the process of designing something, and they had these $1 million machines would cut everything out on the stainless steel. But my father Love designing that. When it came to fruition, I used to go to his shop. His shop was gigantic, right? And they see he's consulted, he got consulted and everything else, but he's like, look what we built. Look at this thing. It's cutting edge. So he's supplies guys in New York, Stony Brook Hospital. He supplied the toll booths. He supplied numerous hospitals. But my father loved that creative end. And, let's go back in time. As far as I knew, AC, tell me if I'm incorrect here. You were like a heavy metal singer in a band one time, weren't you?
At one time, yes.
So what makes you go from that young mindset? I mean, you're very comfortable in front of guys. He's a great speaker. I'm going to tell you, I seen him in the huge 2000, my very first huge 2015. So you're a great speaker. So what made you go from that mindset? I know your dad had a company one time, but how did you go from that mindset to go where you are today? What led you into that path?
It's kind of crazy. You when you're young, you grow up, you gotta, like, I want to be David Coverdale. I love Whitesnake. I want to, I want to marry a girl like Tawny Katane, which I did. I married a beautiful redheaded girl, and but you get to the point where you decide, what am I going to do with my life? And, a lot of the guys I was in the bands with ended up moving to LA and getting record deals and, did the whole MTV thing and all that kind of stuff. I left just before that because, I mean, honestly, I get in trouble for this sometimes. I wanted to go to preaching school and I wanted to be a pastor of a church.
Yeah, you like torn. You were very religious in one sense.
Right.
That's my wife went to Catholic school all her life and family. In the other sense, you're a rock and roller.
Oh, let me tell you something. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that's a religion. I mean, so I'm a very religious guy. I mean, back then I was, I was doing it all.
Wild child.
Oh, back in the day. Yeah. Back in the day, I can't say like Bill Clinton, I did not inhale that thing, and I'm, listen, I smoked pot, I drank, I did cocaine, I did all that stuff for a very short period of time in my life because that was the lifestyle, that was the religion. And luckily one day a switch went off in my head and I went, I think I want to get cleaned up and I really want to have a respectful kind of life. And so I went to preaching school. I got kicked out of preaching school because I'm just not college material. It was a real college, not a seminary. It was a real college, and I had to get an actual liberal arts degree with my preaching degree, my Bible degree, and so I met Karen in college, and I wanted to marry her. I proposed to her, got engaged, and wanted to move back to Florida, needed to start a business. And my dad is an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. I'm a third generation service business entrepreneur. And so I'm moving back home and called, back then we didn't have cell phones. So you stop at the rest area and call your parents and say, hey, I hit the panhandle in Florida, or, hey, I'm in Louisiana. And I was calling him. I said, Dad, I proposed to Karen. I want to come home. I want to start a business. And my dad had pitched ideas to other guys growing up in the church and stuff. Hey, be a handyman. Hey, be a carpet cleaner. And so he said to me, the family painter, Ray, just got done, pressure washing the house to get it ready to paint. He jumped up on the roof and pressure washed all the streaks off the roof. And my dad went, man, it seems like that would be a great business. It's roof cleaning. And that's where it started. I mean, that conversation happened September of 1991, October of 1991. A month later, I'm in the roof cleaning business. Why? Because I wanted to get married. By March of 92, I was getting married. Okay. I'm sorry, June of 92. March of 92, we had the bad hailstorms. June of 92 is when I got married. I was getting married 9 months later or so, and wanted to make sure that I could provide for my family. My wife wasn't pregnant yet, but we were wanting to have babies, right. And they happened a little sooner than she wanted to. 3 months after we got married, she was pregnant. Everybody at church was counting on their fingers and toes and trying to figure out if I did the deed beforehand.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have a family, and this little business, this roof cleaning business, that kind of led into the power washing world, the pressure washing world, and eventually the soft washing world, and all of that gave me the ability to provide for my family, start a family. I had Lauren right before our 1 year anniversary, and AJ 2 years later. I was 25 years old, got a vasectomy, had 2 kids. I mean, what was I going to have? I had a boy, I had a girl, and have a spotted purple elephant, and got a wife, got a business, and it's like it's the logical steps. It's just moving forward. It's every day honoring the opportunity, and little by little it grew and it grew and it grew. And so, I mean, I'm a child of privilege, I guess. I'm a third generation service business entrepreneur. My father always made good money, upper middle class, blue collar money. My dad did appliance installation and delivery and had an appliance business. And so, I mean, we weren't the Rockefellers, but, I mean, I was raised well, and I didn't have vans growing up, but I had knockoff vans. I didn't have Levi's, but I had Wranglers. My parents didn't exactly spoil me, but I never missed a meal or anything else. So when it came time to kind of, do this business thing, I had a really good upbringing, a positive upbringing, and I just put one foot in front of the other and started developing this business. And I can't say, guys, there was no plan except for pay the bills, send my kids to school, make the mortgage every month. I mean, that was the plan. It was just like anybody else. It was survival. So, I mean, there you are.
You know what I hear from you? Passion. If you're not passionate towards your own business and your own lifestyle, I always felt that, look, we all want to make money. Overrules money is passion.
Mm-hmm.
I know that from being in Jerusalem. I've been around the world. And once passion hits you, there's no stopping, at least the way I felt. I'm very passionate when I do. James is very passionate when he does. And clearly you're very passionate when you do. And when you find something, this is what I love about this country. We're a capitalistic country. I think the world's a lot of Americans forgetting that.
Mm-hmm.
A capitalist country, you can make your own path. And if you love what you do, the passion kicks in. And I think that all three of us here are very passionate, but I think that you knew right away, you found yourself on this trail when you were going to be a metal rocker, and you go into this. Your story is similar to mine. I have no hardship story to tell you. I got none stories. I lived out in the streets.
Right.
What happened to me was my wife worked for AC Lockyer. She's running the New York City office. She wants to stay home with our firstborn, right? That's 28 years ago. So I've been in business for 28 years. And I was driven to make sure my wife, Kathy, is very old fashioned. Went to Catholic school her whole life, very old fashioned. She's religious as well. And she wanted this life. And my mother was home with us kids. So I excelled in ice hockey, football, wrestling. My mother, all the events. The world's shifted now. I understand a lot of husband and wives got to have two jobs. But what I did was I started this company. So for 16 years, I was a cop. I was a PBA president. I was a PWA treasurer. And all along I was running this business. And then now when I retired, 16 years doing both jobs, Tony Zabel just passed.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah.
I loved him. Been in my house multiple times. Tony Zabel told me years ago, he says, John, get your wife involved. I said, no, nobody wants to talk to somebody who doesn't know anything about what we do. Look, I got sisters and daughters. People might be hearing this, John, you're a chauvinist. No, I'm not. So eventually I got my wife involved. I'm going to tell you right here, Kathy runs the company.
So does Karen.
I have a great pension. I got health. I have required health for my wife and I. I did well as a cop, but we're making much more money with the power washing. My only job now really is I keep all the machines working. I'm very good to our employees, but Kathy sends me out when there's a problem. I'm a problem solver. Outside of that, we booked $30,000 worth of work just yesterday here. She was on the printer and this computer on the laptop. And Tony Zabel told me that. He goes, get your wife involved. Now, you guys are going to love this. My situation now is I can expand this company you can't believe. And my wife she's now considering doing it. And I'm like, Kat, we got a comfortable life. I'm here for 2 months. You're going to make me have 100 employees. And my father goes, my father wanted to come on the show tonight, maybe next time. He thinks I got the world by the Gazookas. He's like, John, we got it better than you. You got a big time pension. You have health insurance. You got a great company. He's been in my shop. Now we're buying lifts for the vehicles to keep them because I don't want to give up my shop.
Right.
And my father says, why do you want to disrupt what you have? But I'm like, but Kathy's like, you know how much money is in this world, in this industry? The biggest companies in the world, the most popular company in the world is cleaning companies.
Yeah.
There's a company in my town that's got 1,500 employees. All they do is in-house maid service.
Right.
Cleaning is the roof cleaning is gigantic in Florida. It's big. Is Jamie, you know that it's getting big out by us too.
Absolutely.
But cleaning circumvents all of it. It's the best industry to be in. Would you guys disagree with that? I mean, come on.
No, it certainly is great for sure. Jamie?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love having Karen involved in my business. You know, I've got my Top Gun jacket on right now from when we do our training seminars, and you know, my code sign is Viper. You know, because Viper was the lead instructor in the movie. Her jacket says HRHIC, so that's her nickname. The HRHIC stands for the head redhead in charge, and so and she is the corporation that owns Softwash Systems, the backing corporation, because Softwash Systems is a brand, is HRHIC Industries Inc. So, you know, head in charge Industries Inc. And so, yeah, she's been a great help. I could not be who I am today without my wife, for sure. Could not handle what I do in business every day without my wife. So, yeah, I love having a family business, having my wife involved. She's my best friend, and I love spending every day with her.
Oh, yeah, me too. My wife and I, the same thing. Kathy, you know, one thing Kathy doesn't like about what I do, she goes, why do you teach park garage cleaning to people who could become our competitors?
Yeah.
And I have an easy answer for that. I don't want to do it in the beginning, but Dad Eckhoff used to own the Huge. Says, John, can you speak at the Huge? I wouldn't do it. And then Bo Giuseppe with the PWNA, like, why don't you speak for the PWNA? I don't want to do it. Meg Wheatley told me, goes, John, at the 2015 Huge convention where I saw you speak, AC, I was in your class. She spoke. I didn't know who they were. So, and I'm very friendly with her. I was trying to my sisters and daughters, right? And she told me, goes, why don't you teach what you know? I said, I'm not doing that. And she goes, can you help me with the PWNA Facebook page? I wasn't even on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that.
You weren't even there.
Yeah, I wasn't even there. But she said to me, she goes, John, you can teach your class. Probably maybe 90% will never really follow through. They should, but then you have that 10% you're going to compete against. But she goes, look, if they beat you at your best. I'm very competitive. I'm like Michael Jordan. I'm not Michael Jordan.
Right.
So one of my class, Justin Mooley, you might be watching this tonight. He beat me on a bid. He was in my class in New Orleans. He beat me I bid $54,000 on the bid. He bid $52,000. He beats me. He didn't know we were competing against each other. He calls me up. He goes, his shop is 10 minutes down the road from mine. He's got a multi-million-dollar company now. You know, I'm so sorry I beat you. And I said, no, don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry.
You know what? You beat me on my best. But the next time I'm coming around, I'm gonna try to take it down. I have no problem with that. Think about that. You have all these soft wash systems. You have licenses. If one guy's doing better than the other guy, all it does is elevate. It really elevates because this guy's selling. You got a soft wash license. He's making $300,000 a year. This guy's making $500,000 a year. This guy's making 1.2. Business people are competitive.
Yeah,
they see what they're doing. They want to try to do what he does. So what you do is you go to these conventions, you go to these events, you network, and learn what they know. I'm a sponge. Be a sponge, right? AC, Jamie.
Absolutely. Talking about soft washing the Top Gun. I don't know if he's still here, but I want to congratulate my boy, man, Dwayne Wood.
Yes.
He took the step, man. He's been thinking about it for quite a while now. He took the step, man. He graduated. He got him a badass rig, and
nice. and he's got a Top Gun jacket too.
Got a Top Gun jacket, and he is happy, man. And I'm proud of that dude. Like he's right here in Philadelphia. I do some jobs. We work together. He's a good friend of mine. But he took the step, man.
You got to take the step. You know, I've always, you know, I'm sure everybody here agrees with this. You know, if you're worried about training your competition, I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't mind training people. I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind helping people out because the bottom line is you've got to raise the tide in the harbor so that all ships rise. And if you're not out there telling people the right stuff, I mean, geez, if you go on YouTube right now and try to learn how to clean roofs, oh my goodness, you go into the message boards or Facebook groups or any of that kind of stuff, the disinformation that's out there. We've got to have somebody out there that's actually saying, guys, this is the real way you do it. This is how you do it. This is why you do it. And this is how you don't kill plants, and this is how you don't screw up paint. This is how you don't mess up electrical outlets, and this is how you do good customer service. This is how you work on your penmanship. This is how you dress when you go to a sales appointment. This is how you dress when you go out and do the work. If there's not somebody out there doing that, our industry is going to suffer by a bunch of people that are poorly trained.
Right.
The old saying, if I train my employees well, they'll leave and go into competition against me. Or you could not train them and they could stay. You've heard that saying before, right?
I heard that saying.
Yeah. And so same thing with your competition. Well, if I train my competition, they're going to be able to compete against me more. Yeah. But if you don't, they're going to be down in the mud, lowering the standard, giving away work, not having the same overhead as you, not understanding what they should be doing. And all it's going to do is drive everybody else's prices down. And we all deserve to make a fabulous living off of this business and not live week to week eating peanut butter and ramen noodles. Okay? We all deserve to make $400 an hour. We should own it.
You know what? I hope this message gets out. When I used to play a lot, I was really good in ice hockey. And I have a picture of me and Brian Trottier. He's a rookie of the year in 1975 New York Islanders. I was at that camp, right? I have a picture of me and him. But I went to the camp to learn. And I went with my fellow hockey players to New York and learn. And we were on good teams. And also does elevate, because in business, Thad Eckhoff, I was a big sports guy years ago. Thad Eckhoff told me years ago, he said, you know what? So into sports, right? So into sports. The Slapshot movie, I knew John Brophy, the things based on him. And Thad Eckhoff told me something important. He goes, John, I don't follow. I know a lot about sports. I know about Jamie's Eagles. I know about your Florida State teams. I'm a stats guy. I love numbers, right? But I was told years ago, if you can all connect with each other, it elevates. So I used to go to hockey camp. I went to hockey schools, and the guys went, and my opposing in the high school league I played in, the opposing players went, and all we wanted to do was be better than we could be. And if they were better than us, well, we got to find a way to be better than them. But we always were friends.
Right.
That's a good way of competition, because if you don't want to work with your own, but look, my local contractor, we pass work off. Jamie can talk about this. If you don't want to work with your local people, then you know what? Look, I passed on jobs. I had garages from guys that want to do it. I gave them buildings I don't want to do. If you don't work together, it really hurts you. It really does. That's why I can't say the ServicePro Expo, the PWMCA coming up, the event. You want to be there. Look, AC, Darryl Mercer, right? Of course.
Yes.
You own a plant and everything else. You have 500 employees. I met him in 2004 in Dallas. And I hit him and his wife, his ex-wife down, but unfortunately. But I learned so much from these people. Joe Waltz right down the road from me. We're going to dinner in a week and a half. I learned from these people because, and Jamie knows this, I always bring this up. I've seen Billy Joel in concert numerous times. I got a new song out now, right? If you said, John, watch Billy Joel on YouTube, he's playing a 2.5-hour concert. I can't get longer than a minute and a half. When I go to the concerts, and AC, you can attest to this, the energy is so much there that I don't want to leave. And when it happens, when you go to these events like the ServicePro Expo, you meet people there, lifelong memories. The ones who take the business serious are at these events. They are at the events. The other ones are in not all mom, I like to joke mama's basements. But these guys are trying to make it on their own without spending any money. But spend a couple bucks. Learn from these people, and you can succeed above them. And a lot of these guys want you to do even better. If they're making $10 million a year, and you can make $20 million a year, they're going to gravitate towards you. How did you do that? It's like a domino effect. So I can't recommend this stuff enough. I really can't.
I'm sure you got to take advantage of these events, man. You got to take advantage of them. And I know a lot of guys go to events just to network and they want to socialize and
that alone is great too.
But man, you got to spend some time learning some stuff and making new friends. My best event, and I've been to quite a few events. And, my best event that I've been to recently, you guys would be really surprised because it was it was a small event, but it was the one where I got a book of notes, and that was at AC Shop, because I was able to go there and sit in the classroom and be like, now I can soak this in all day and don't have to do anything. Like, you guys, man, there's so many opportunities when you go to these events to go in these classrooms and just soak in this knowledge. It's like when I go to my event, I get mentally burned out. I can't. I'm just like everywhere. So
everywhere.
That was my best event,
by the way. But
hands down, that was my best event. To sit down and just be like, man, we're here all day. We're listening to AC. We're listening to your CEO, what's his name?
Dan Holland.
Dan. Listen to Dan. Listening to man, I'm bad with names tonight. From the Seal.
Oh, Ed Marchicelli.
Ed. Like sitting there and being able to listen to them guys and not having to do anything but taking information. That's like,
it's gold.
It's gold. That is gold. And guys just they think, there's nothing to the advance. There's nothing there, dude. I grew up in the cleaning industry. I've been cleaning since I was a baby. So I mean, and I still learn from people every single day. Like,
my father, I'm gonna get him on one of these shows.
Yeah, that'd be good.
They did these fume hoods, and my father used to do his conventions down in Atlanta. With a huge used to do their. You've been at some of those, right? That Atlanta. I wish they go back to the Atlanta hotels, like 45 stories up. That's my father's convention was, and they also did New Orleans. And my father, because he was a manufacturer, they made so much money, but my father made relations with people with patents. That was big. So my father was able to learn from them and design his own stuff and get his own patents. And you know what, Jim, what you just said, I agree with you 100%. I've been to the huge conventions, PWNA, ACR, you name it. I've been to all these conventions, probably 60 since I started 28 years ago. But some of the best ones were the smallest.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because think about it, the very smallest you ever have is a one-on-one. Like me and AC, if I get AC one-on-one, I'm like, oh. But I've been in AC class with 50, 60 people in there, and I learned a ton.
And talking about small events, Trudy with Panhandle Soft Wash has one coming up this weekend. And so, if you're up in the Panhandle or you can drive into it, it's an F9 training, with Craig Harrison. And it's at Trudy's shop. And those little regional small events, man, can change your life.
That's right. Huge.
They're awesome.
I don't want to use huge anymore. Jonathan Main is probably listening. That's ginormous.
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 Yeah. Ginormous.
You get something. Want to hear a short story fast? When I was 9 years old, I represented my class to write President Nixon about the Vietnam War. And he wrote me back, and he gave me a pamphlet, he signed and everything else. That was so impactful to me because here's a one-on-one with the President of the United States. I never forgot that. You're going back to 1969. I was only 8 years old. So these things, and if I would have met him, it would have been different. So now I see AC Lockyer, I see Jamie. I meet these people, and you never forget that. I mean, it rubs off on you. Huge. Ginormous. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
no, I'm not. I'm laughing at the comment I put up. You said I got a short story. I put a comment up and said no story short with.
No. I can go on and on. That's why I got to do my garage class 4 hours. Ooh.
I know, right?
You're just passionate too, John.
He's passionate. Yeah, John's passionate.
You're just passionate too.
Oh, very passionate.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go to the earth and back for somebody as long as they're loyal. You got to be loyal. I industry can use a little bit more loyalty. So, AC, what do you speak about? What do you think? You got a world of things to speak about at the ServicePro Expo. What do you think? What do you think you're going to speak about?
Jamie and I talked about this, and we wanted to make sure that I wasn't just coming in and rehashing or covering a topic that somebody else was possibly covering at the event. And so we decided for me to do a talk on knowing your numbers and some very, very important numbers. And I'm going to bring everybody a little spreadsheet that I'm going to bring that is a dash. I've put it together kind of like a dashboard on a car. Not that it looks like a dashboard, but each column on the spreadsheet says like oil, antifreeze, RPM, tire pressure, stuff like that. Because those are important things on a car. We all know, well, we hope we know. There's some people that don't, but we know that there's things that you have to do to a car to maintain it and everything else. And there's numbers you have to watch. You have to watch your, the engine temperature. You have to watch the oil pressure. You have to watch the tachometer. There's things that you've got to watch in your business too. And so I'm going to bring everybody a spreadsheet that allows you to back into, and I'll share it with everybody. I'll put a QR code up. People will be able to download it on Google Sheets. But it's where you can put in the dollar amount that you want to do in your business, and it will back into the equation and tell you how many leads you need to produce at what closing ratio, at what average job, boom, 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 to hit that goal. So you can do the numbers backwards and forwards on the spreadsheet. Right. And so that you know what things to look for in your company, because there's really only about 5 main numbers that for most of us, most of us have businesses that are less than $1 million. And if you focus on these 5 numbers and very intensely, you will break $1 million. But if you don't focus on the numbers, you will only do as much as you need to do to just creep by in business. Right between our eyebrows, okay, right here, about 1 inch back in your skull is a gland. And on that gland right there, written in Helvetica Bold number 12 type, is the number that you think you need to make a year to float your ship, to support your lifestyle. And so most people in the world, the way most people are wired up is if they have that number, if they say, well, I need to make $75,000 a year, the moment they build their business or have a sales job or anything that they're doing, the moment they have something like that, that they start getting a paycheck that amortizes that number. They start getting a $1,500 a week paycheck. It equals $75,000 a year. They think they've arrived. Most people will just go on cruise control then.
Right. Yes.
Maintain. There's very, very few people in the world that ever evolve above that and go, something, I'm not going to just maintain. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do what I'm capable of. I'm going to do what I'm talented of. I'm going to honor the opportunity that's been given to me. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to work with tenacity and build something that, in my case, and I saw your poll today, so I'm going to say it anyhow. That honors God, okay? Because that's who gave me everything that I have and my talent and who I am and everything else. I mean, I cannot claim, well, look at me, I'm so wonderful, I'm AC, look at all the things I've done. No, because it's not from me anyhow, okay? That's why you have to be humble about these things. But when you're given those talents and you're given those opportunities, and you've been given wonderful people to be on your team at your business, all right? And you don't go out there with tenacity and honor the opportunity and grow that thing, I believe, and there's a scripture in the Bible that says, if you know the good that you ought to do, but don't do it, you have sinned. And so, so for me, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about going out and honoring the opportunity and doing my best. And so for people, you've got to get past this survival mode of I need to get a $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, salary. You want to hear something really transparent? Would you guys like to hear something really transparent? So a lot of people think that I'm loaded. I actually had somebody come up to me at the IWC event and be like, AC, you're just loaded. And I'm like, I'm not loaded, guys. Let me give you really transparent. Karen takes home a $75,000 a year paycheck.
Nice.
I take home a $75,000 a year paycheck. Okay. Our vehicles are used vehicles we bought that we own free and clear. I don't buy new vehicles. Okay. I've got a debit card. I don't use credit cards. I've got a debit card that I get my gas out of the company and a few meals and some niceties and everything else. We are not the Rockefellers. Why? Because I hate to borrow money. And so I am proud to say that all of the businesses I own 4 businesses, okay? All of the businesses that I own, and I'll give you one caveat on disruptor manufacturing, but all the businesses I own, I have self-financed and are 100% debt-free.
Okay? That's the way to do it.
Nice.
And so I don't take as much out of my companies, so I can reinvest into my companies and reinvest in my companies. When I bought all the new manufacturing equipment, all my new toys I have over there, I went to this show in Chicago. It's called FabTech. My wife has told me I'm not allowed to ever go there again. because I spent like $500,000 in one afternoon.
Yeah.
But, so that stuff we did, my accountant said, go buy some equipment, put it on a note. We'll depreciate the snot out of it. It's a tax strategy and everything else. But other than that, equipment that I bought to start the fabrication side of disruptor manufacturing so that we could do everything in-house. We do everything in-house. Everything comes in flat sheets of aluminum and flat sheets of plastic, and poof, it turns into that skid. That's the only debt that we have, and that was strategic debt that we did on purpose. But other than that, we lead a debt-free lifestyle, and we barely take enough money out of the company because I know I've got a long-term goal and a long-term dream, and I don't want to do $1 billion so I can walk around, I did $1 billion, I'm a billionaire, I want to do it because the jobs it'll create and the opportunity it creates. That's 1,000 soft wash systems branches,
right,
doing $1 million each. How many kids does that put through college? How many kids does that put through private school? How many weddings does that pay for? How many houses did that pay for? How many American dreams does that create? How many lifestyle businesses is that? And so, and so people nowadays need to have higher expectations for themselves. You could do incredible, wonderful things if you just stop swimming with the school, stop listening to all the naysayers, stop listening to the people, the crabs in the bucket that are trying to pull you back down because they don't want you to be successful, and step out and be who you can be. And it all starts with knowing your numbers. You got to know your numbers. There's a few simple things that anybody that comes to this class, I will show you how to have $1 million a year company. It's very simple. It's very simple. We started our one little prototype soft wash systems branch that we have here in Seminole County. It will be a year in April. And from the day it started, April 1st, to its 1 year anniversary, April 1st, we will be by then amortizing $1 million a year. How many companies do you know out there that can start and in 1 year in the cleaning industry, in the pressure washing industry, start and in 1 year are $1 million company? And so that's the formula I want to bring everybody. I want to help people achieve that because they don't. I've put 1,500 people into the soft washing business in the last 10 years. They're not all still with me,
right,
but I'm proud of every single one of them and happy that they're prospering.
I have two things I want to say, and one's going to be a personal question towards you, AC.
Sure.
Doug app just posted on here. Me and Jamie wanted to come on. Doug out there he is. Come on one of our shows. I forgot he was at the IWCA convention. Doug, hit us up. Me or Jamie, if you want to come on Thursday's show, right, Jamie? Definitely bring you on.
Yeah, Doug will come on Thursday. Oh wait, he may not. Doug's doing a class right now. He may not be able to.
All right,
he's in Jersey.
He's in Jersey.
We got so many people lining up. But Doug, if you want to do it, hit us up. But I'm going to point down to you, AC. I was telling Jonathan Maney yesterday. I consider you. I'm going to be honest with you, very intelligent. You got a high IQ, don't you? Yeah, I think you do.
Well, I did put in my book because I was trying to relate to people that a high IQ doesn't necessarily mean that things come easy for you. I do. I have a 158 IQ. Einstein had a 159. But it's like you took a beautiful Jaguar 12-cylinder engine and you took all the spark plug wires and started doing this and putting them on the wrong spark plugs. I've got ADD. I've got OCD, diagnosed 2 disorders. I'm diabetic, and I'm mechanically smart, but I'm not book smart. I failed the 3rd grade because I couldn't handle math. I barely got out of high school. In Seminole County, you had to have a 1.8 to graduate. I had a 1.85. I got kicked out of college. So until it's kind of, people are like cakes. You got to bake in the oven a while before all the ingredients come together and make that wonderful cake. And I honestly, guys, I did not really hit my stride and start doing what I was designed to do till I was probably 40 years old. So a high IQ doesn't necessarily mean anything unless you apply it. And all my report cards used to say, Alfie would be so wonderful if he could only apply himself, And it just took me till 40 to apply myself.
I'm just thinking about if your parents back in the day, that look, I know your parents knew you were smart, but here you are, you want to be a heavy metal singer. And
it pissed my parents off.
Yeah, what is wrong with us?
It's even worse than that. My grandfather was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and and he was in World War II, Korea and Vietnam as a jet fighter pilot. My uncle Bud was in the Air Force, and he was a captain, and he was actually in the astronaut program. Never got to fly on a rocket, but was in the astronaut program, and was a test pilot. Was even on the Johnny Carson show. So as I was growing up, I was the only male grandchild, and it was you're going to go to the Air Force Academy. You're going to go to the Air Force Academy. I just wanted to grow my hair long and sing in a heavy metal rock and roll band, and it just pissed them off. Especially when they tested me and they knew what my IQ was. It's like, you're Air Force Academy material. And I look back on it, I squandered. There's a reason why I'm in the pressure washing, soft washing business.
Play the guitar and sing.
Yeah, I squandered so many opportunities. I could be so much more than I am today, but God keeps throwing me back into this industry because I'm serving people here. I'm loving people here. I'm nurturing people here. And so this is where I'm supposed to be, because every time I try to get out of it, I get thrusted back into it.
Push straight back.
I love the story. I got to step off for 1 minute because my dad's calling me.
Okay.
They're at a restaurant.
It'll finally give Jamie a chance to talk.
Hey, I'm
ahead, Jamie. Get away.
Hey, talk about rock. You want to talk about rock and roll?
Producers
you may see AC do some rock and roll. I don't know, man. AC is known to rock and roll a little bit on the at the PWCA karaoke's.
But we got to check the key on the song before we did it, because we did "Don't Stop Believing" last year, and that was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever done in my entire life. I think it was in the key of C or something, man. That was awful.
So we weren't going to do it. We weren't going to do the karaoke this year, man. And I was watching the video from 2 years ago when we were doing it, and I'm like, you know what? We have to do it. I'm like, we're doing it. We're doing the karaoke. I'm like, if we do it out in the parking lot, we're doing it.
That's right.
We're doing it, no matter what. Yeah, we're going to do it. But I'm looking at all these comments, man, about people saying about small events and how they went to small events and it's been great for them. And I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of hint, man. Like, if you come to this year's show, you're going to get a little bit of an announcement, man, that my passion is not doing big events, and my passion is trying to help contractors and bring people together to help contractors. So, things are going to be changing moving after this year. So we're gonna announce that at this event. But I'm gonna get back to some of the small events myself, though. The regional stuff. I have fun with the regional stuff.
Well, the old round tables were awesome. From over a decade ago, the round tables were great.
Yeah, that's where it's at. I mean, even when I do it here in Jersey, like I do the boot camp, so we'll have 18 people come out or 12, whatever it is, and we'll just spend 2 days, man. Just
Hey, remember, I got a classroom you guys can come down to anytime and host an event.
Yeah, I know. It's an awesome classroom too. It's an awesome classroom.
Yeah,
he's back
for sure.
Yeah, my dad says, you want me to bring home clams on a half shell? Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
So I don't know if John's going to be there. Yeah, I think John will be there at night. So I wonder if John's going to do any karaoke. We might get him the rock.
I've been playing guitar for 50 years. 55
so there you go.
years.
There you go.
I only play in my office back home when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
If you do Johnny Cash, maybe I'll do some Johnny Cash.
You can do whatever you want to do. You tell us what you want.
Yeah.
I'm not like AC. AC shines in public. I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, hey, you'd be surprised some of the people you see doing it there. They would not do it. You would be really surprised, man.
I saw Bobby Beats do it.
Bobby, dude, everybody, man. Doug App was jamming, man. It's just like
and then some people get up and they're like, "Wow, you could actually sing." You're like, yeah, they're all shy and humble, and oh no, I don't want to do this or whatever. And then they get up there, and you're just like, holy crap!
I do miss my buddy right there. I miss my buddy right there, man.
Yeah, Marco,
yeah.
I miss Marco doing. Yeah, man. Congratulations to Marco. Marco got married, man. Marco,
Amber's great.
Boy, Amber changed that boy's life, huh?
Oh my God, Amber's great.
Yes.
I want to see Marco sing heavy metal, and then
I do
next.
Now I got to talk to him.
You're better in Nashville. In Nashville, me and Stewie were there. Stewie sang. Stewie, that my guy I bring around the country with, never drinks. He's a Christian, good Christian, great guy. But he sang to everybody that Marco and I were doing shots, and then Marco sang heavy metal, and he could sing heavy metal.
Well,
I want to see AC sing heavy metal.
He quit drinking, which is
no. They're going back 2 years ago. He goes, Amber made me sober. Yeah, listen, Marco, don't. I'm going to go to hell anyway. AC,
I'll pray you out. I'll pray you out of purgatory. Don't worry.
but I have a problem asking for forgiveness for my sins. That's another show. But I got a few. I have the few I could deal with. But Marco has always been fun to hang out with, even sober, drinking.
Yes. But
when he sings that heavy metal, he screams into that microphone.
Yeah, screamo.
His voice. How do you not lose your voice doing that? But AC, I know you. Did your wife sing at your last event? She had a microphone.
She was actually emceeing with me. So she was introducing people when we were doing our awards assembly and stuff like that. So she didn't actually sing. But a lot of people, that pose that she was doing like this made it look like she was singing. So everybody was like, oh, I wish I could have heard it. And I'm like, heard her announce who the next award goes to? I don't know.
You see how to
yes, she is a songbird. That's one of the things I fell in love with her. And we used to sing in a group in college together. Oh, and nice. So, yeah. We did praise and worship bands in church for 25 years. Every single Sunday morning, I either played guitar or drums or whatever, and sang and stuff like that. And she sang, and so we did it for about 25 years. But she's rusty and I'm rusty, and we're over 50 now, so it doesn't come as easy as it used to.
Yeah, you know what? You see how things can be misconstrued through the internet.
Yeah,
when I saw her like this, like you said, she's like this. And I saw your video where you fighting all the water that your guys are throwing on you.
Yeah.
I was like, AC gives up the whole secret. I was like, Kat, he's driving a boat. It looks like he's in the sink. AC tells her, well, the people are throwing water at me.
Throwing water at me.
And that was pretty cool. But then I saw Karen with the microphone. I'm like, I want to hear her sing. So I assumed she's a big-time singer. Yet, someone's giving me up. It's what does Marco say? You were a cop, John. It's the same kind of yell when saying drop the effing gun.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't admit to nothing on that. But anyway.
It comes out from your gut.
That's right. And but when she stood that pose, so right away I assume and I didn't know she could sing, but I thought she was singing. See how the internet can misconstrue something? When everybody sees something, right away they pile on until they meet the person in person. That's why you have to go to these events.
Oh, yeah.
Now I want to see her sing, but I want to see you sing, AC. I never heard you sing. Would you sing at karaoke?
Well, Jamie just posted a video the other day, I think yesterday, of it. Yeah.
Well, and so I didn't see it. And Marco, come on down. You got to sing against AC with the heavy metal stuff.
Well, that was the 1 year as everybody was pitting Marco and I against each other, and then we were kind of throwing fuel on the fire together and everything. Who was going to win karaoke? And neither one of us would. Man, this one husband and wife team came in and did a duet together and just blew everybody out of the water. We were like, "Oh, we suck."
So who was it? I'm horrible at names, type man.
Yeah, I can't
remember. My really good buddy. So he's a preacher. She sings at the church, and he told us the whole time. I got a ringer, and we're like, yeah, you're not gonna dude, destroyed everybody. Everybody. It was like, you guys
we were all like, we are not worthy.
You guys lost.
Bow down to the champion.
Yeah. You guys lost. I mean, that's it. I mean, you just sometimes you gotta just take it.
You know what it's like? It's like the more you go to these events, you see the same people, you become like an industry family.
Mm-hmm.
I can call people right now if I have a problem. They'll pick up the phone in one ring. I will do the same. And we talk about, whatever we're dealing with. And that's another thing you get at these events too. It's like a family. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, and you're not gonna get that online. I mean, Facebook and these other things, social media is gives you some community. But you got to get to a point where you see people in person and break bread with them, have a drink with them, and and get some fellowship and trade ideas and have discussion, because the internet doesn't hack it. I mean, this is okay right here,
right?
But when I see you guys in 2 weeks, it's going to be more than okay. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
John, I give you I may be able to give you a little sample, John. I'll give you like 5 seconds, and that's it. Let me see if it works.
Come on, let's rock and roll tonight. Wanna rock and roll.
That's all you get. You got to come. You got to come to the show.
I can't touch that. Give me some. Put Bobby Beach up. I can give him a run for the money.
Yeah, Bobby Beach won last year. He won.
Yeah, because he's so enthusiastic. Who's the other guy? I always make fun of this guy. I always say he's got a business with a van down by the river. What's his name?
van down at the river.
Yeah, I always tell him that. I always tell him that. Me go back and forth, but if I said his name, you know him. He's down in Florida. The hell, I'm hitting the blank with his name. The tall guy, black hair. Oh, you know what?
Oh,
It'll come to me after the show. I'm 62 years old. These things come a little later.
Come a little bit later, right?
Oh, God, I wish I could remember.
Come a little later.
He's gonna kill me. He's gonna hit me up tonight. Come on.
I don't sing at the show. That's my. I have to.
I'll tell you what. You sing. I'll sing.
I'm too busy.
No, you're not.
We'll all sing together. We'll do Hotel California or something.
I tell you what, we do have a rule this year.
I can finger pick that.
We have a rule of no screaming this year. That's my rule.
I'm out.
No screaming. Yes, it hurts.
Yeah. Now singing's different. Screaming, no.
Hey, can I? We got 5 minutes left here.
Yes.
I'm not going to totally open up Pandora's box, but I'm gonna say something. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what I want to say is, and John, I know you had this post about the Bible and religion and bringing it into business and everything else, but to me the Bible's like
wait. Jeremy Brook, the man down by the river. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, Jeremy Brook. There you go. For me, there's a Bible scripture says that if somebody sins against you, you should go to them, okay, and work it out. If they don't listen to you and you can't work it out, you should get a buddy and the two of you go to them, bring a witness, and try to figure out the problem, heal the relationship, work it out. If the person still won't correct their ways or whatever, then you should go to the elders or the board or whatever, and then bring them in and try to work it out. Okay. It is a sad state of affairs in an industry when people assume things about people, okay, or attack people or things like that, and don't just go and talk to them in person. Because people assume a lot of things. I think we get a lot of keyboard commandos, people that are real tough on the internet and stuff like that. You get people that are that have personality disorders and are just hateful kind of people. But listen, John, I've heard things about you, and I look at people and I go, John's never treated me poorly. I get along with John great. I've never seen that in John. I've had people say things about Jamie to me, and I'm like, really, Jamie Schmidt? Are you kidding me? That guy's always been great to me, okay? And I've had people say things to me about other people. I go, yeah, I've experienced that too. But when I've experienced it, I don't run around gossiping to everybody. If somebody does something bad against me, I just kind of wash my hands of the situation, and I may not hang out with that person or run those circles anymore. But I don't say anything negative about those people, and I don't gossip, and I don't try to defame their name or bring them down or anything else like that. If we're going to grow this industry, we got to have people in this industry that if you've got a question about somebody, you need to go to them and ask them. Okay. If you got a problem with somebody, you need to not let the sun set on your anger, and you need to call them up on the phone and say, man, what you said to me kind of hurt me. If you think you lost a job to somebody, don't get pissed off, call them up on the phone and say, hey, can we compare our two bids? I want to see, because sometimes the customer lies to you and says the other guy outbids you, and they actually didn't. Let's not be assumptive. Let's remember that there's people in this industry, and we're all people, and that we should consider each other's feelings and emotions, and that we're all in this just trying to make a living and take care of our families, and get rid of the crap, get rid of the drama, get rid of all the hate and all that kind of stuff. And when you have a question about somebody or somebody's character, go to them. Or number two, if you hear somebody say something poorly about somebody, the best thing to do is to say, something, you need to go and talk to that person and push them back towards the person that they spoke ill of or they have an opinion of. Because, there are a few rotten people in this industry, but 90% of everybody are just trying to get through life. And if we could help each other and love each other, we'd all get a hell of a lot further.
Jamie, I can't add to that. I mean, he said it all.
He said it all.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I'm silent
John
now.
silent? Oh my.
But other than that, we'll see you in 2 weeks at the PWMCA ServicePro Expo.
Get registered to your tickets, guys, because it's
definitely.
We may probably have to either raise prices or stop registration probably next week. Not that we want to, and everybody says it's a bluff. It's not. The hotel needs a number of how many people they got to feed. They have to know it.
You have to know it 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah, they have to know it. So I'm almost at that deadline. So if you guys are thinking about it, go ahead, get your tickets, and we will see you there. It's going to be an awesome show. We got some amazing people, amazing networking, and thank you guys for coming on tonight. Appreciate the talk, man. I think hopefully everybody's going to get ready to kick ass this season.
Hey, Poxitani Phil.
Yeah,
gonna have an early spring.
I'm ready.
I can't believe AC shut me up. I put me away with that.
Shut you up.
You got nothing.
You got nothing.
Great show, guys. Thank you, AC.
All right, guys.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Be good.